Didn't know I would be going live again today. But here we are. Breaking Phillies news. It's Phillies hit and run on the STT Sports Network. We're breaking down Kyle Schwarber's contract. 30 seconds. What's up, everybody? I'm back, baby. I was just live for an hour and a half, and now I'm back on. It's 11:30 on Tuesday morning. I still haven't even had time to shower, but breaking Philadelphia Phillies news. Kyle Schwarber is staying in Philadelphia on a 5-year, $150 million contract. Guys, as we break this down, whether it's right or wrong, hit that like button if you can. Subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page and share this out. And then vote on our poll question. Kyle Schwarber gets 5 years. Are we happy? Yes or no? That's all there is to it. The deal, we don't know much about the contract yet. It literally just broke probably 10 minutes ago, this information for the Phillies. I joked about it this morning on the morning show. Someone asked me what he would sign for. I said 5 years, 155. I was pretty damn close. And it's set. Kyle Schwarber, 33 years old, entering next season, will be signed here. We're still waiting on details, how the contract breaks down, rules on. There's so much to it that we gotta wait and see, and we'll see if that information, breaks as this show's going on. But Kyle Schwarber, the runner-up MVP of the 2025 season, one of the better home run hitters, is here in Philadelphia for the next 5 years. And that's huge. It's a big deal. Really, really did expect it to happen. Did not think he was going anywhere. Didn't think the Phillies would let him walk. That does set up the rest of the offseason for the Phillies. What is next? I don't know. I'm glad they're keeping Kyle Schwarber, but I'm also cautiously concerned about how many guys they're going to have playing on this team when they're 37, 38, 39 years old. Kyle Schwarber will be playing. This is his last contract in Major League Baseball. He'll be 38 at the end of this contract, entering his 39-year-old season. If the Phillies don't win a World Series in the next year or two, it's going to get really ugly in this city. But it was really hard to let one of the biggest fan favorites in this city go. It was really hard to say no to bringing Kyle Schwarber back. It's one of these decisions that you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it's one of these decisions that there was no right or wrong answer to. You could have refreshed. It seems like they want to run it back. You're bringing Rob Thomson back. You might as well bring Schwarber back. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm reading some things from Jeff Passan here. $30 million for a DH at that age, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for Kyle Schwarber. A lot of money for a guy his age. But I kind of feel like you had to do it to an extent. Kind of feel like it was the right decision to happen there. Will it pay off? I don't know. Rob Thomson extended through the 2027 season. Was that other breaking news that I'm missing? Or was that already done? I guess we got to stay. Oh, there it is. I just saw it as you say that. There you go. Rob Thomson extended. So he is not. Yeah. All right. So we're just running it back for a while now. And yeah, man, I'm getting messages about all this shit. Man, that's crazy. Well, the day just got a little brighter. Did it get brighter? I think it did. I hope it did. RW, sorry, I didn't mean to doubt you. Just wasn't a little shocked, a little surprised by that. I joked on the morning show today that Jeffrey Lurie was calling John Middleton being like, yo, I need a distraction. Well, he didn't just get one distraction. He got two distractions. Kyle Schwarber's back, and Rob Thomson extended through 2027. Means he's not going anywhere. Anybody. Nothing's changes. Things are staying the same with the Philadelphia Phillies. For better or for worse. 97 wins, I guess is what we're saying is good enough, in this city. I don't know if it is. I just figured I'd go live and see. I guess people aren't used to me being live at this time. Figured I'd talk this out, try to figure out whether it was the right thing or not. Can't say I'm in love with it. Can't say I don't like it. I just think it's one of those moves that had to be made. Kyle Schwarber, one of the best leaders this team has seen. He is the leader of that locker room to an extent. Not that his leadership has resulted in any titles or anything. 2 live streams before 12 o'clock, Mitchie Poo. I did 6.5 hours yesterday, 5.5, 6 hours yesterday of lives. So, yeah, I do 2 a day, sometimes 3. But 2 before 12 o'clock? God, I don't know if my body can handle this. But guys, subscribe, share, tell everybody. Haven't even had a chance to promote that I'm live right now. Let's get this promoted so at least maybe some people find out that I'm live. Got to find a way to get this to work here. Live talking breaking Kyle Schwarber news now. There we go. At least I got one bit of promotion out on this show here. I don't even know if I set the back end of the show up accurately. Don't know. It was kind of a rush job to go live here. Wanted to be one of the first people live talking. So do we like the Kyle Schwarber move? Are we happy? Kyle Schwarber, the numbers are there. I mean, how many home runs has he hit? 46, 47, 38, 56 with the Phillies. He's gotten his batting average and OPS up the last couple years. I mean, he was the MVP runner-up this year. Are we happy? Are we content? The guy's a DH. It's a lot of money for a DH. A lot of money tied up between Schwarber, Turner, and Harper. But what does this mean for the outfield? Does this mean we're going to have Marsh and Crawford and another cheap guy in the outfield? Will Dave Dombrowski go out and sign, I don't know, a Cody Bellinger still? You can't go sign Cody Bellinger. You can't have another power-hitting lefty in the lineup. So what do? Are they going to go out and get Bader now? Overpay him? I'm really curious where a 5-year, $150 million contract, plus extending Rob Thomson through 27, what that means for the rest. You got to assume JT Realmuto's still coming back. He better come back. We're literally just going to run it back. And the team that we're running back did win 97 games. Has been to the playoffs 4 straight years. But we want more, right? Two-time NL home run crown winner as a Philly. Look, that's great. And I'm okay with it. But I also could say that I'm not okay with it. I fall on both sides of the fence with Kyle Schwarber. I'm happy. I believe in his heart he wanted to stay in Philadelphia. I do too. I will say I'm shocked that he got 5 years and $150 million. It's a lot of money. I wanted to stick at 4 max. I did predict the number within $5 million. I said 155 this morning. I was close. But I guess we can be happy with this. His heart wanted to be here. He is the heart of this team. Where Bryce Harper is the rah-rah guy, Kyle Schwarber is the heartbeat. But I don't know if running it back, Schwarber's back, that means JT's going to be back. That means really the only realistic change we're making is Castellanos. Does this take them out of the running of trading for Ketel Marte, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe this makes them go get the Diamondbacks second baseman and switch around the infield a little bit. There's so much rolling through my head right now with this deal and what it means for the future of the Phillies and what it means for just status quo staying the same. Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. We did say pay the man all season long, and I get that. And he got paid. But during the season, we weren't positive that the season would end in a disaster the way it did. And by disaster, I mean a disappointment. We got our first no, we're not happy with the Kyle Schwarber vote or deal on the poll. The first vote, no. And I'd love to say no, who voted no, they're not happy with it. Because I'm curious. Because I'm still on the fence. I'm going to be live here for about a 30-minute show here. And I need to be convinced which side of the fence I fall on here. Because I think it goes both ways. Well, it's fine it was you. And even if you were just joking, it's fine. I guess it's fine. I see it both sides that it's a good deal. You keep the heartbeat. You keep the best hitter, the most consistent hitter on the team here. But nothing seems to be changing. And that's why I'm not on the fence or on the right side. Suzanne, what's up? Good morning. Kyle is my favorite. I told you that I'm glad to have him back. Good morning. Yeah. Look, there's plenty of good with it, right? But something has to change with this Phillies team, or the results will be the same. You can't move on from JT. Castile will be gone. What money is left? We've already heard from Dombrowski that his payroll is not going to increase much. Now, Kyle Schwarber's getting a pay increase, right? Where's that money coming from? Getting rid of Castellanos. It doesn't free up much more money for other moves. So it means we're going to be in the same boat next year as we were this year. The Phillies lessening the blow of that shit. Hey, I said it on the morning show, Jim. I called it. I said that Jeffrey Lurie called up John Middleton being like, yo, I need a distraction. And he got two. Schwarber and Rob Thomson extensions. Made my day better after that horrendous game. Absolutely. Kyle Schwarber can't do anything but swing a baseball bat. And you just committed $30 million for the next 5 years to a guy when it's over will be 38 years old. Schwarber signed into his 40s. Turner signed into his 40s. Aaron Nola signed till he's, 38? It's a scary old team we're about to embark on here. $30 million a year for a guy who doesn't play the field is K1, I mean, I think it's a valid concern. I think it's a valid comment. When I kept predicting $30+ million a year, everyone's like, oh, no one will give $30 million a year to a DH. I'm shocked the number's that low almost. I couldn't believe that maybe another team maybe didn't offer 35-40. Schwarber won it the 5 years. I really think that was the sticking point. I think Schwarber could have gotten more than $30 million a year. He could have gotten 4 for 130, 4 for 135 elsewhere probably. But that 5th year, And that extra bet to stay in Philly is what it took. Again, I don't hate the deal. I also don't love the deal. I see the good in the deal. I also see the flaws in the deal. There's a lot of good and bad. I almost feel like, what's up, little G? How you doing? That the deal was made and announced before the Rob Thomson thing to kind of, hide. The Rob Thomson extension. Maybe? I don't know. I think it shows how thin the farm system is. That's very possible. Maybe they're not as sold on Justin Crawford being ready as we are. Maybe they're not as sold on Aiden Miller as we think we are. I wonder if they're not sold on the farm system, do they make a big, bold trade for Ketel Marte? Do they go out and make another trade? There's not much more free agency money to be spent by the Phillies. JT Realmuto, that's it. The rest of this team is going to be patchworked by nickel and dime players and trades. What's up, Anthony? Yeah, I'm glad they signed him too. I also understand why some might not be. 5 years for a 33-year-old player at DH, $30 million a year when you're when you're under the gun on the budget. It's something. You're taking what you're doing is you're taking Kyle Schwarber's money from last year. You're assuming you're not going to have Nick Castellanos, who you're still going to have to pay, mind you. And you're going to have to. You're using both that money to pay Kyle Schwarber, even though you're still going to have to pay Nick Castellanos this year. Guys, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, subscribe, drop your thoughts. Kyle Schwarber staying in Philadelphia on a 5-year, $150 million contract. Rob Thomson extended through 2027. It's a day. It's a day for sure in Philadelphia. It's a day of interesting breaking news. What's going to be next? What's the next thing we're going to see? What's the next piece of news we're going to get today? Maybe JT Realmuto. Maybe that's the next step. Maybe that's the next shoe to drop. But again, JT Realmuto getting signed would just continue the conversation of that the Phillies are just content rolling it back again. And if the Phillies run it back, we're destined to have the same mistakes again. So I get both sides of the argument. I get both sides of the story. I understand the concerns. I also understand the excitement. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is an exciting baseball player. Kyle Schwarber is somebody that helps make this team tick. It is what it is. I want to see more details. I wonder how much of the money's deferred. If they deferred some of the money, maybe that changes things. I wonder what the Bellinger and Tucker contracts are going to look like wherever they go sign now. You obviously have to add some right-handed pop to the lineup now. So it takes you out of Cody. It takes you out of Kyle in their situations, Tucker, that is. The domino effect of this deal, not just for the Phillies, but for the rest of baseball, is crazy. If Kyle Schwarber's getting $30 million a year, Kyle Tucker is going to get $45 million a year. Arguably, potentially. So what are we looking on this contract other than 5 years, which is a good number? The $30 million a year doesn't bother me totally that much unless we're talking about the fact that we're up against a budget right now. 5 years concerns me as well. The fact that in 3 years We might already have the oldest baseball team. I don't know. But we definitely will have the oldest baseball team in 3 years. This is a move where Dave Dombrowski thinks that they're close to winning. That he thinks, like some others, that we could have won last year if we didn't run into the Dodgers. But this is also a move that doesn't get you past the Dodgers. Paul George contract doesn't look so bad. Nah, the Paul George contract's still worse. Although the Paul George, every day that ticks by, the Paul George contract gets a little easier to trade. A little easier. I need to see the details. I need to know if there's a no trade clause. I need to see, if there's any opt-outs. There's got to be, I want to see the details before I get too over the top. I'm just trying to find it. They're still not releasing any information out there on the contract at this point, other than the 5 years and the 150. The more things change, the more things they stay the same with the Phillies. At least we know what their thought process is. At least they know what they think of their squad. Again, JT Realmuto will drop. I guarantee he will be signed. It's a tough one. It's a tough call. It's a tough call how to feel on this, guys. Again, I should have waited maybe like 15, 20 minutes before I went live on this one, maybe to get a little bit more information. Look, I'm saying it very well could backfire, this contract. I don't know if it will, but it could. It absolutely could backfire. There's a legit chance that this becomes one of those awful deals in Phillies history that we look back upon. This is one of those deals where Dave Dombrowski's legacy could be on the line with it. We get younger in other places like from the farm, or we can maybe bring in Bellinger. This eliminates Bellinger and Tucker. You can't bring another high-priced left-handed hitter into this lineup or into this clubhouse. You got to go out and make a trade for somebody. Whether it's Marte or somebody else, I don't know. And the next move is not to get younger. Unfortunately, you're going to have to trade some younger players to go get another win-now guy. I went live instantly. Nobody's tuned in. I barely promoted the show. I don't even know if I set the background up correctly or like the back-end stuff correctly. I wanted to be the first person going live on this shit. Phil without a net is best. Yeah, I'm just winging it. I'm just vibing and flowing. Schwarber shouldn't go downhill badly over the next 5 years. Yeah, let's think about that for a second. He doesn't play the field. All he does is swing a bat. The problem is there's going to be a lot of guys over the next 5 years that need that DH spot. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. There's guys that are going to need that. Schwarber might not break down because all he does is DH, but that might be a hindrance to the rest of this team that needs to be a DH. AK, we're live a second time already this morning because big breaking Phillies news. Kyle Schwarber signs a 5-year, $150 million extension to stay in Philadelphia for the long haul. Guys, we're breaking it down. We're overreacting to it. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't. Vote on the poll question. Are you happy with the Schwarber deal? We've got 82% yes, 18% no. That's 2 no's and 9 yeses so far on this poll. And me, I'm sitting here, I'm not sure. Tatsuya, what's up? Schwarber's back. Rob Thomson is extended. And I think Don Mattingly will get announced as our bench coach very soon. Great point. DH is made for Harper when his body breaks down. It's for him. Trey Turner's body's going to break down. If we don't trade out Bohm, his body's going to break down. There's a lot of guys. K1, that need that DH. Just think about the age of this team in 3 years, all the guys that are under contract. That's why I was talking the other day on the pre-recorded Phillies hit and run that I'd be okay with Cody Bellinger over Schwarber because it opens up the DH spot for a lot of guys. Smoke screen, the Eagles lose last night. Yeah, exactly. We can't get away from that. It's all good. We had a lot of fun this morning. But I went upstairs, was getting ready to go take a shower. I had a little breakfast, and then breaking news. Phillies didn't want my morning nap to happen today. The Phillies wanted me to have something else to do today. That's all good. It's all good in the hood. Just trying to go through things here. Reports that it was close with the Reds. The Reds were really close to that offer, and he would have considered it if they went over. I see that report. But we control this contract for Schwarber. He won't be here for the whole 5 years. I think by the third year, we trade him to Cincinnati. We don't know that, okay? We have to wait to see the contract. Remember, Bryce Harper's contract's got a full no-trade clause in it. They're not afraid to give out full no-trade clauses if that's what they want. Schwarber might not want to play in Cincinnati. Schwarber may want to stay here for the rest of his career. And this is his last contract, most likely. So maybe this is where Schwarber wants to be, and there is a no-trade clause, and then we're stuck. I'm not sure about Trey Turner. I'm definitely positive Harper, and Harper has a no-trade. So we'll see. Something positive had a break from all the PS lately. Yeah, look. Again, the thing is, I'm not sure how great or how bad this Schwarber news is. Again, I'm not saying it's awful. I'm not saying it's the end of the line or anything like that, or it's going to be the number one thing that backfires. I think Rob Thomson being here is going to backfire much more. But we'll see. Guys, there's 7 likes on this video. Please, that means a couple of you have not liked. I know some of you haven't subscribed, and share this out, guys. Breaking it all down. I don't know how I feel. I feel better about it, probably because of the Eagles' loss last night. I don't know how I'll feel tomorrow or later today about this. What does it mean next? Running it back doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound bad. It also doesn't sound great. Like, we know what running it back means. It means 90-some wins again. It means the same team coming up short in the playoffs. It's close. Yeah, they had a cartoon game version last night. I think they've done something similar before. Yeah. 5-year contract for, what would you rather, a 5-year contract for Kyle Schwarber or 5 more turnovers from Jalen Hurts? In 5 years, won't remember the Eagles lost last night and will be stuck with a 37-year-old DH. K1. Valid comment. I'm not against this. We weren't going to get him for under 5 years and $30 million. Yeah, again, I predicted 155 this morning when someone asked me on the morning show. I'm not surprised at the deal he got. I am slightly surprised that the Phillies gave him that deal. I feel that they could have done better this offseason. I also understand that losing him could have been a disaster. There's so many different ways and angles to look at this. And I just don't know how to say it. I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed at all. And honestly, if you lose Kyle Schwarber, who's going to lead the locker room? Who's going to be the captain of the team? the de facto captain, not wearing a captain's, patch. Do they wear captain's patches in baseball? I don't even know if they do. I just think that I would have liked to have seen something else play out. Give me a reason to think that it'll be different. Give me a reason to think that something different will go on with this Phillies team. Running it back just smells of, I don't know how to, like Dave Dombrowski doesn't know how to fix the mistakes that he's gotten this organization into, so he's just doubling down and tripling down. He's playing like Daryl Morey to an extent. So at least Daryl Morey's drafted well and brought some good young talent in. I don't know. I outside of JT coming back, I don't know what this does. Actually, I really, the more I think about it, I think it means that prospects are going to be traded for another win-now guy. Dave Dombrowski knows that this is his last chance. This is his last opportunity to put a winner on the field, not just for the Phillies, in his career. And telling Kyle Schwarber's agent, whatever it takes, I need you back here. When we said early in the season, middle of the season, pay that man his money now. I wonder if they would have extended him in the season if they could have gotten him cheaper than this, which would have kept a lot of other money free for other things. Philly's got a lot of holes on this team. I'll get the payroll breakdown tomorrow. Philly's got a lot of holes. Their outfield's not good. Third base needs to be improved upon. Maybe second base. They need a fifth pitcher to start the year. Their bullpen needs to be worked on. The Phillies need to get a hold of Ohtani and see if he has any friends back home. Maybe that's the next move. Maybe going out and getting one or two of these Japanese players. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. It's very hard to convince Japanese players to play on the East Coast, unless you're the Yankees, though, to start their career. Another great point. Why wait? Like, if you were going to sign him to a big deal, they could have done it 6 months ago. We all talked about it on this channel and others. Get a deal done. We kept saying, what are you waiting for? Kyle's signing was smart. I don't want any of these Timu DHs left in free agency. I get it. See, the thing is, you don't have to sign someone to be a DH. You can just sign 9, 10 great offensive players and platoon the DH to give guys like Harper, Turner, JT a day off their feet. You're bringing back JT. If he got 5 years, Kyle, JT's not getting 2. JT's getting 3. JT is going to need to DH occasionally. The problem is now you've got too many old guys that need to DH. And only one DH spot. Again, I'm not talking myself out of this. I'm glad Kyle Schwarber's back. I'm glad Kyle Schwarber will finish his career with the Philadelphia Phillies. I very much so am. I'm just not 100% sure if it's going to backfire or not 2 to 3 years from now. And if they go out and win a World Series, you know what? I'll be very happy. And I won't care what the end of the contract is like. But if the Phillies do not go out and win a World Series, well, we got a big problem. If they don't go out and win a World Series this year, or at least get to the World Series, we got a big issue. Now, I'll say, you're saying the Timu DHs, I'd much prefer this Kyle Schwarber deal over, say, a Pete Alonso deal. I'm not worried about the bunny. I did say this morning that the bunny should be slashed, dashed, and just destroyed. If we got to start talking Eagles, I'm just going to end the stream. I spent way too much time complaining about the Eagles today. If you haven't, guys, like, subscribe, share. Go live for a couple more minutes here. See if anybody else pops in and has an opinion on this Kyle Schwarber deal, or if any other news breaks on the deal, details of the deal wise. No other deals yet. No other details yet. Anyway, man, it's 12 o'clock. I've been live for 35 minutes here this morning, so we're over 2 hours today already live. What other news is going to break today? It's going to make me go live again. Nope. You have all the control over your internet. It's all your fault, AK. Anyway. I'm just trying to think in my head of players that are available, situations that can unfold, and how this could play out where the Eagles or the Phillies can somehow still fix this team or make this team better. I think the Kyle Schwarber deal really is going to handcuff what the rest of this offseason's like, and the Kyle Schwarber deal is going to just make it, I don't know, not just running it back, like completely running it back. At this point, you might only have money left for your outfield for a Max Kepler. I guess it's going to come down to Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton, how far over last year's payroll they're willing to go. A lot of that's being played into this equation here. A lot of it. And we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. All right. I vented. I talked. I broke the news with you here. If we get more information, maybe there'll be a third show today. There's a legit chance that there's a third show later today. Is Schwarb's an overpay? I think it was Schwarb's was an overpay if you think that there was no life without Schwarber. Like they paid him what they had to pay him not to lose him, not what he was worth. I think you could have lost him and still survived. You could still lose. You could have lost him, still won 97 games and lost in the first round of the playoffs. This was a payment made because you feared the team would get worse if you lost him. Absolutely, Paul George and Embiid are overpaid. That's the definition of it. You pay Kyle Schwarber this contract because you don't think you can survive without him. Whether it's an overpay or not depends on how the next couple seasons play out. So it's kind of like comparable. Yeah, like the Barkley over. Like, you didn't have to give him that extension. No, not an overpay. He could have gotten this money and years anywhere. He could have. I think it was like, all these cities are offering 4 years, 135, 5 years, 125. Schwarber's representatives went to the Phillies, went to Dave Dombrowski, said, look, this is what Kyle Schwarber wants to stay here. Match it, or we got a deal elsewhere. And Dave Dombrowski said, I cannot afford to lose Kyle Schwarber. So he paid him. The question is, could the Phillies have afforded to lose him? I think that's the real crux of this. Would the Phillies have been better or worse trying something different? They didn't want to try something different with the coaches and the managers. Hence, everybody's coming back, and we're going to add Don Mattingly to the bench probably today. Or did you want to try something different? A new voice in the locker room, whether it was the coach or the leader. All they had to do was consider trying something different. So to answer your question, Tatsuya, it's not an overpay if you think all the other options to replace Kyle Schwarber's production weren't good enough. If you did not think there was a viable option for 5 years, $150 million or less to replace him, then it's not an overpay. But when I see other contracts come out over the next couple days for Alonso, for Cody Bellinger, for Tucker, and if I see those prices not what I expect them to be, if Schwarber get 150, Cody Bellinger might get more. It might be. Now, if the Phillies go out and win the World Series or even get to the World Series in 2026, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a good deal. We won't know if it's an overpay or a good contract or a bad contract till A, we see the next 2 or 3 big contracts signed, and B, till we see what the rest of the offseason brings. But in a vacuum, it seems like that's the fair market value for him. I just find it hard to pay a guy that at the end of his contract is going to be 38 years old, and he only DHs. We're not projecting Kyle Schwarber to eventually have to be the DH at the end of his contract. He is legit the DH. Handcuffs aren't always bad. They can be fun, too. We are not getting to the World Series or being close to it. We might not. Especially if you're just running it all right back, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The difference, though, is that the distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success. It's another movie quote right there. The distance. So, this is one of those deals that can make Dave Dombrowski look like a genius or a complete loco, insane person. But we won't know till we see it. Till we see it all play out. The next week, the next month, the next year. To get up to 910 subscribers. How about that, baby? We're inching our way up today. I thought about that quote before clicking on your channel. Well, do you know where I get that quote from? Can you guess where I drop dimes all the time of quotes, movie and TV quotes? Most of the time, they don't get picked up on. The distance between genius and insanity is only measured by success. It's a great movie quote, just so you know. Let's see who else we can pick up in free agency and from Asia and the Caribbean. The Phillies did sign some 16-year-old outfield prospect from the Dominican, I think it was, the other day. It skated on the radar because he's only 16 or whatever. But he's one of those guys that looks like he could be fast-tracked to the majors by the time he's 20. Like he's already got a major league level swing, but he's just 16. Replacement between the owner and coach. What? I don't get that. I don't understand what that means. 5 years was too much. Look, 5 years is a lot, I think. Okay, gotcha. I just thought 5 years too much. I figured that's what you meant. 5 years is a lot for a DH. That's 33. It's going to be 38 at the end of it. 5 years is a lot for a DH. When you got 2-3 other guys on your team that are going to need to DH to get off their feet. 5 years is a lot. When you also have a position at catcher that needs somebody else, that you need to get younger somewhere. Yes, tomorrow never dies. Elliot Carver and his beautiful wife, Terry Hatcher. Very underrated James Bond flick, Tomorrow Never Dies. Just because something different. It wasn't a Cold War Russian trying to take over the world. It wasn't some, guy holding a nuclear bomb over somebody trying to take over the world. It was a guy using the media to take over the world. Where have I heard that before? Kind of predicted the future a bit. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. It's all in your heart, son. You'll never go wrong. Now we're just going to drop dimes of quotes here, right? I actually love the dime quotes here that we're dropping. But yeah. It's one of these situations we're just not going to know for a while. But it's one of these situations that it's either going to backfire massively, but it could result in a title. You know that quote is from a scientist, right, and is not from the movie Alone. I don't care whether it's from a scientist or not. I heard the quote from a movie, okay? That's all. I'm a Phillies knob, so please fill me in if you can. What's going on with our minor league team? Do we have anyone expected to be called up this year other than Painter? Well, Painter, because of Zach Wheeler, Painter will be in the rotation week 1 unless they decide to trade him. I mean, there's a distinct possibility that we could trade him. Justin Crawford will be starting in the outfield. Whether it's left or center, we don't know. And then you got Aiden Miller, who should be ready, but they're being too cautious with. Outside of that, there's nobody else in the minors really, truly, realistically ready to play now. But you've got a few guys that are talented, and now because of this, the Schwarber deal, the only way to make real adjustments to this team now is through trades. And the Schwarber deal says, I'm winning now, okay? Not 5 years from now. So to win now means you got to trade prospects. And I think you're going to see before even signing JT, you might see a trade. Big trade. We have 2 or 3 decent candidates to come up this season. I have 3. The Phillies only think they have 2, and they're not even 100% sure on those 2. Ketel Marte, you trade for Ketel Marte? You're giving up Andrew Painter, probably. Shocking, crazy to say. I get it. But you need pitching, too. Think about this. Zach Wheeler's expected back maybe ballpark May 1st. To me, that's aggressive. It might not be till June 1st, but he might be back May 1st, which means you got to survive 1 month with Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, Taijuan Walker, and Andrew Painter. Yes, I'm writing Ranger Suarez off. But what do? You trade Andrew Painter. Our minor league teams were terrible. They have gotten better over the last couple years. They absolutely have. And they've got a bunch of guys in single A that really have a lot of potential. But single A means you're still 2, 3, 4 years away. So the minor league system either helps in trades or when we've got a bunch of 39-year-olds in wheelchairs on our team. I'll never forget that quote, man. That's like the quote Babe Ruth gave Henry the Jet Rodriguez in The Sandlot. Epic movie. Dude, I love good quotes, man. I love good movie and TV quotes. I do. All right. Let's refresh my screen one more time on the side here. All right, so we're still at 910 subscribers. And we got 12 likes on this video. Not the best, not the worst. For a spur-of-the-moment, unprepared show, breaking news-wise, I'm going to refresh my Twitter feed one more time here to see. Yeah, nothing there, nothing there. Still just all Eagles all over my Twitter feed right now because Philly fans are still just pissed at. The problem, we sold a lot of our minor leaguers prospects in our World Series run a decade ago, so we just built. Yeah, but none of those minor leaguers that we sold off for that decade ago turned out to be anything. So trading prospects isn't the end of the world. But you got to tune in to other show. We were live this morning for over an hour and a half talking Eagles. So I'm going to avoid talking Eagles right now because this is strictly Phillies show all of a sudden. Spur of the moment. If I got to talk Eagles again, I'm just going to turn it off and go take a shower and go take a nap. But yeah, anyway, I got to wrap this up anyway. But the Eagles suck, plain and simple. It's all good. Normally I'm open, but it was like 95 minutes. I was already live this morning, and now I'm live for another almost hour here. I can't take the Eagles right now. I can't. Go watch the replay of this morning show if you want to see some bitching and moaning about the Eagles. I did that for sure, and rightfully so. Hey, it is what it is, guys. So let's wrap this baby up. Phillies signed Kyle Schwarber, 5 years, $150 million, $30 million a year. We'll be live tomorrow morning. Rob Thomson extended through 2027. I'll go live again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Maybe I'll go live tonight instead. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a trending in the PM. I don't know what we'll do. We'll see. But it is what it is. Schwarber staying. Whether it was a good idea or not, time will tell. What is the next shoe to drop? JT Realmuto or a trade? This takes us out of the running for Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, and a bunch of other names. Pete Alonso. We'll see what's next, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this emergency Phillies hit and run live stream. Like, subscribe, share. Go Phillies. Bubbles up.